The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Fairy Tale Access, where the head fairy's quest is to prove that fairy tales do exist in actual time, rather than once upon a time. Together, we will unravel the heroes, young and old, who turn dreams into reality. These are the people who still believe in happily ever after. The discoveries will bend even our most cynical non-believers into believing in fairy tales. Hi, welcome to Fairy Tale Access. Today, I have Mr. Vincent Spada with me, and he's going to introduce us to his newest book, Mercy Methuen, and tell us a little bit about a book he wrote a little while ago, Said the Kitty to the Cat. You're going to love these books. It's so exciting. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about Mercy Methuen?
Yes, back in February of this year, I was thinking perhaps, it would be a good idea for a supermarket to actually have their own type of book. Mm-hmm. So I actually wrote this book for a supermarket. I sent it to them. They weren't really interested, but I figured, well, maybe this would be a good book on its own. So I sent it to some publishers. A publisher in Maine picked it up. It was released in October, and here we are.
Wow. Yeah. So is it hard to get a publisher these days?
It can be. You basically have to write for the right niche. For example, if if a publisher publishes nonfiction, you better write nonfiction or whatever category they want. It can be a little difficult if you have a very specific genre, but children's books are very popular, so it wasn't ridiculously hard.
Wow. How long have you been writing?
Professionally, I would say about, if you count, actually making any money on it, about 10 years or so. But as far as publishing books, I've only published books about 5 or 6 years, 3 books.
Great. What type of subjects do you like to cover?
Short fiction, flash fiction, children's books, obviously. I have 17 nieces and nephews, so it makes it much easier to think up ideas.
It goes.
And poetry. Poetry is what I started writing in high school, and it's like I said, there's not a lot of poetry publishers out there who really want a whole book, but it's you get in journals and stuff. I've been in newspapers. That's what really started it off. And I figured, well, go into books. I actually did publish a poetry book about 4 years ago. Same year as Said the Kitty to the Cat, so it worked out well.
Great. All right. So tell us about the characters in Mercy Methuen.
Well, this is Sarah Cereal over here. Mm-hmm. Martha Milk Bottle, even though it's not a glass one. Yanni Yogurt, Bob Banana, and the other one over there is Timmy T-Mix. Yeah. These are the characters who live in Massachusetts. This is Mercy Methuen, the basket itself.
Okay.
They all work at a store called Basket Market, And as I said in the book, she's going to Basket Market one day, and they all want to ride as she goes along, and eventually, they get a little too heavy for her, and she sinks. So basically, that's the idea of the book. And then, they decide, well, maybe we could help her out, and they eventually pick her up and carry her to the store.
So it's good. It's about friendship and.
Well, everybody needs a helping hand once in a while. Even the person who helps somebody out, then turn around, they need a hand. So it's about helping each other.
That's fantastic. And what future works do you have planned?
I actually have another book. It's not a children's book. It's titled Endings. Mm-hmm. It's actually about short fiction stories, not the whole story of the middle, just the ending part. And I wrote the book some years ago. It was scheduled to be published, but the publisher decided they changed their mind. And I'm speaking with a publisher now on the East Coast in Baltimore about perhaps getting it published. They're 150 little shorts. They're not stories. It's just the ending of stories. So it sort of just picks up at the end and just carries it off its momentum. Some are very, very short, a few sentences, others like a paragraph, but that's an idea that not only I'm trying to make into a book, but perhaps a TV show. I've spoken to some people about it, but it's in the works.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
We could try it out here. I don't mind.
Sure.
All right. Now tell us about Said the Kitty to the Cat.
That's a book I wrote, well, it wasn't actually, 5 years ago for Valentine's Day. My nieces, who you'll see soon, I wrote them a Valentine's Day poem, and it was this. And so I thought, after I wrote the poem, maybe this would make a good book. So I sent it around, and a publisher in the UK picked it up, and they distributed it, and it did fairly well. It's not for sale in the United States. They weren't able to find a distributor here, but it did fairly well in the UK, and I have had some nice feedback on it. So, you know, maybe if things work well, I can release it here in the States.
Oh, great. And tell us a little bit about the illustrator. How did you find the illustrator for Mercy Methuen?
Mercy Methuen was illustrated by Debbie Bellaby. She's an illustrator from the UK. Basically, I sent out an inquiry to all different illustrators everywhere, United States, England, wherever, anyone who would answer back. She's pretty much the only one who answered back and really went with it, because there's another book I wrote, hasn't been published yet, called Joe Raccoon. And she illustrated that book, and it was just a terrific job. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find a publisher yet, but she did such a great job that when I, thought of the idea for Mercy Methuen, the only one I even wrote to was her. And as you can, you'll see, she did a wonderful job.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we do have a clip of her, so we're excited to meet her. What got you started with writing?
It was really back in high school. You see, I read an awful lot when I was a kid. And if anyone out there who wants to learn how to write, the first thing I would recommend is read. Read as much as you can, as many different subjects as you can, for as long as you can. And when you do that, you'll get the idea of how a story is going to be laid out, how it should, the beginning, middle, end. Not to copy it, mind you, but it'll help you form a basis of how to write. And then you take it from there and you make your own stories and stuff like that. That started in high school, and like I said, I started writing poetry. And it went from there, like I said.
Oh, that's awesome. What's your favorite book of all time?
Again, in high school, I read Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. And in my opinion, that's not just my favorite book, but like I said, in my opinion, it's the best book ever written in the way I see it, because it has a style of realism that, I don't know, you didn't find that in earlier 19th century works. And then it was published in 1884, and I know it's a little, the language is a little vernacular and stuff like that, but if you cut right through it, it's about, making difficult choices and standing by them. And I don't know, for whatever reason, that particular book spoke to me, and I don't know if it made me become a writer, but it certainly made it much easier.
That's fantastic. Well, we're going to look forward to more from you. We're going to speak with your nieces.
Annabelle and Charlie, yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to find out what they thought of the book, what else they're reading, and we'll hear from Debbie Bellaby. It should be great. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing Mercy with us. It's a great book, guys.
Thank you. Nice being here.
My pleasure. And we'll be right back with a little more information on Mercy Methuen.
Hi Fairy Tale Access, I'm Debbie Bellaby and I'm the illustrator for Mercy Methuen, and I would love to share some of my techniques with you. So if I show you these are the final artwork for the book after we've been through the sketchbook and planning stage. So this is Mercy Methuen rescuing one of my favourite characters, which is Timmy Teetin. Now Timmy was great to draw because he starts off so sad floating in his puddle, and then by the end of it he's so happy because Mercy's picked him up, put him in her basket. So he's really good fun to draw, and he's got this gorgeous decorative tin, so I really enjoyed working on this drawing. And I work quite quickly, so the best thing for me is just soft black pencil on white cartridge paper, and then I add the final colour with paint or using Photoshop digital colour. I'll also show you this illustration, which is a good one, which is Mercy with the whole gang. So she's got Sarah Cereal, Bob Banana, Timmy Teetin and Martha Milk in the basket, and she's just about to pick up her last passenger, Yanni Yogurt. And often when I'm drawing, I'll do a little panel of detail down the side just to make sure I get the characters really perfect and consistent throughout the whole book. And I'll just share with you one last drawing, which is Bob Banana. Now Bob, I think, is a real star in his own right because he is just so hilarious to draw. Who would have thought adding a broken down bike and a crash helmet and baseball boots to a banana would give him so much personality, but I loved working on this drawing. Bob Banana is really, really good fun. And there's other little elements to this illustration which are little storylines from my imagination that just run through the pictures. They're not mentioned in the text, but they're just something else for the reader to notice. So the bird that follows Sarah Cereal, and the mouse that rides off on Bob Banana's bike. That's a really lovely part of my job that I enjoy. And then of course the final stage, once this artwork and all the others around me have been signed off, is to add the colour. So sometimes I use watercolour. In this instance I've used Photoshop, which is just another way for me of digital painting using a graphics tablet. And if I switch on the layers of colour, hopefully you can see. And of course Mercy's fabulous bright red basket. And that didn't take me long, but the actual painting stage itself obviously does take a long time, but it's just quick to switch the colours on and off once you've finished. So there we have a final image for Mercy Methuen. So I really hope you enjoyed finding out about my work. If you'd like to know more, my website is debbiebellaby.com, and I hope you really enjoy what the kids have to say about the book. Thanks, Denise.
Hi, welcome back to Fairy Tale Access. I'd like you to meet some reviewers I have for Mercy Methuen. On my right is Charlotte, and this is Christopher and Annabelle. And later they're going to do a skit for you from the book. But right now they're going to tell me what they thought about the book. And welcome, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Oh, my pleasure. So who wants to start? Tell me what you thought about this book.
Okay, I thought it was very good. I liked it a lot, and yeah, I thought it was really a really cool book because she picked up all her friends, and then at the end, her friends picked her up.
Oh, that's true. So who's your favorite character?
Timmy Teabag.
Timmy
T Mix.
Oh. How about you? Who's your favorite, Charlotte?
I really like Yanni Yogurt. He's so adorable.
Oh, he is cute. What about you, Christopher? What did you think about this kid's book?
Well, I mean, it might be an obvious bias, but I think Bob Banana is my favorite character.
Really? And
Yes.
you're going to play him for us later?
I think that's why he's my favorite character.
Because you're going to play him for us.
Exactly.
You're such a good sport. Okay, well, you guys might be a little biased because he's your the author is your uncle.
My uncle also.
Your uncle also. Wow. But putting all biases aside, even if he wasn't your uncle, did you really like the book? Do you like the way that he writes?
I did.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Do you think your friends will like it?
Yeah.
Yes, I think they will.
Yeah. So tell us a little about yourselves. What do you do? What are other readers like you doing in school these days?
Well, me and my friends like to go to the mall and have sleepovers.
Really? What are sleepovers like these days?
Well, we usually we do makeovers every time, and then we have a dance party, and then we usually watch a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds fun. What kind of dance party? Do you do it with, like, the television? Or...
Either we find, like, a music channel on TV, or we'll put, like, a phone or an iPod on a speaker, so it makes, so it makes
that's
music.
good. What kind of music do you like?
I really like Taylor Swift and Meghan Trainor and Rihanna.
Great. What do you like to do?
Well, I'm starting to play guitar.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you like it?
Yes, it's very fun.
Oh, good. What else do you do in school? What's your favorite activities?
Well, I really like to do science. I have my own little microscope at home, so I like to look at the little slides.
Oh, wow. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a vet.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be great. So all that science will come in handy.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite subject?
Yeah, science is my favorite.
Are you good in math, too?
Yeah.
Really? What kind of math are you doing now?
Right now we're working on ratios.
Really? What
Yeah.
grade are you in?
6th grade.
6th grade. Wow. So do you like it?
Yes, I like it.
What other subjects are your favorite subjects?
My favorite subjects are math and science. I was never really a big fan of LA or social studies.
No.
No.
What about you? What are your favorite subjects?
LA and social studies.
And you guys are sisters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So you can help each other out.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you out of school yet, Christopher?
Yes, been out of school a couple of years.
Just a couple?
Several.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
So what do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to read a lot. I have an improv class on Friday nights currently, and I'm also taking the Argentine tango on Sundays.
Wow.
Yes. Those are just my current exploits. I try to mix it up now and then.
Do you do the improv? Do you teach it, or do you attend?
I am a student currently.
You're a student? So you're going into the acting field?
Yes, that is an aspiration of mine. I was in North Carolina for a time for work, and it was an extended business trip. And while I was there, I was able to get an agent and run around, do a few auditions, and be in some things, which was nice.
Okay.
So now that I'm back in New England, I'm actually currently seeking representation and looking to see what I can do in that field.
Great. Well, we'll have you back later so we can find out more about it.
Sure.
All right, girls. Well, what do you like to read?
I like to read a lot of books. Yeah, I like a lot of books. I'm reading a few different books right now.
Which ones?
The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh, I heard that was great.
Yes, it is so far.
Which book are you on?
What?
Which book are you on?
I'm on The Boy in the Striped Pajamas right now, the first one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book of all time?
I really liked The Raft. That was a very good book.
The Left?
The Raft.
The Raft.
It was about a girl who got in a plane crash, and then she's stuck on a raft by herself in the ocean.
That must have been scary.
It's a good book.
Really?
Yeah. And
Did it go really fast? Was it easy to read? Or?
It had.
Was it one of those books that you stay up and like look at it under covers with a flashlight?
Yeah, like you could. It's a.
Like you can't put it down. Oh, those are the best.
Yeah. And The Fault in Our Stars too.
Oh wow. You're very well read.
Thank you.
What books do you like?
Well, I really like nonfiction or realistic fiction books.
Mm-hmm. So what are your favorites?
I really like a book. It's called Prisoner B3087. It's all about the Holocaust.
Okay.
And it's one boy, and it's going through his story through the 10 concentration camps.
That must be scary.
Yeah.
Does it make you think a lot?
Yeah.
Does it make you, what type of feelings do you go through as you're reading this book?
Like towards the middle, it gets really sad because all the people, they're dying for no reason whatsoever, just because of their religion.
Right. Yeah. So does it make you empathize with people more every day?
Yeah.
That's good. What about at school? Do you find that, is there like a lot of bullying at school or not so much?
Not so much in my grade.
Oh, that's good. Did it happen in lower grades?
Mostly in lower grades.
So you kind of grow out of it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. What about you? Bullying in schools?
Yeah, about the same. We had more in the lower grades. We don't have a ton anymore.
Oh, that's good. What do you guys do if you see it going on?
I don't really see it going on often, but I'd probably try and do something, like stand up for the person being bullied.
I think you would. That's really good. So tell me about you. What do you like to read?
Well, if we're talking about children's literature, growing up, my favorite children's book was Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, that's such a wicked good book.
It's probably, it's a cliched answer, maybe, but it speaks to the power of imagination. And when you're growing up, you don't have as many things at your disposal, or maybe now as an adult you look back and you realize you didn't, but you had your imagination, and that's why I just really took to that book when I was young. I sort of pictured myself going into another world, and it's interesting because they have those monsters, but they're not scary. They're not scary when you're reading the book. They're monsters, but they're your friends.
Exactly. Do you get scared when you read your books? Because you really are into more of the reality and things that have already happened.
Sometimes when there's like really big dramatic events going on, like in the middle of the book, people get like hung and whipped, and it's scary.
Absolutely. Do you have nightmares, or
No.
do you just keep reading until something good happens?
Yeah.
That's good. Does it keep you up late at night too?
Yeah.
Still can't put it down?
Yeah, it's a fantastic book.
Oh, good. What other books have you liked?
Well, I have a lot of books about animals, like wild animals.
Are they scientific books or?
Like they teach you where the animals are, what they eat.
Oh, so their habitats and everything?
Yeah.
Wow, you're going to be an awesome vet someday. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A cosmetologist.
A cosmetologist?
Yes.
That'll be awesome. What draws you to that? To like the whole Disney princesses type of thing? Or?
Yeah, that's always pretty awesome. But I like how you can create anything with makeup, and it's really cool. And then hair, the same thing. You can do so many really cool things with it.
Wow. So do you practice on your friends at sleepovers?
Yeah, and myself a lot.
Oh, that must be fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys take a lot of pictures?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a Facebook page that you do it on, or?
No,
That's
I
good.
have an iPod.
Oh, that's good. Well, thank you guys so much. And you're going to act out a scene for me from this book?
Yep.
Yes.
Is that what we're going to see next?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Very ready.
Positive?
Pretty positive.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If the girls are ready, then I have to be.
All right. And so we definitely recommend you read Mercy Methuen, and they're going to act out a page to give you another reason why. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
One day, Mercy was walking to Basket Market when she spotted someone sitting on the side of the road. It was her friend, Bob Banana, and he looked very sad.
What's wrong?
Asked Mercy, for she was very kind to everyone.
You seem upset. Is there anything I can do to help?
Well,
Said Bob with a frown.
it's just that I don't have a way of getting to the grocery store. My bike has 2 flat tires, and I'm not able to fix it.
Hey, that's okay.
Smiled Mercy.
I'm a basket. I can carry you.
You don't mind?
Asked Bob.
Not at all.
Grinned Mercy.
Hop in. If you want to know what happens next, check out Mercy Methuen. And remember, keep reading.
Keep reading, folks. You never know where the adventure will take you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.